library. Woo woo, shout out, welcome, welcome. I am Satima Ra Ra Ra, or just Satima Ra, or maybe you don't have to sing it. You know, we getting close. You call me Sati. Welcome, welcome, all you fellow light bearers on the earth plane, and to all you 2- and 4-legged and no-legged friends in the room, and to all our non-physical entity brethren hanging out with us for good and ill. We acknowledge you too. We welcome you into the space, since, you know, everybody wants to be included. Hello, how do you do? Again, I'm Satima Ra, in case you forgot, aka / Sati. Welcome, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Sati Satsang. Thank you for coming to sit with me. If any of you are on the return, thank you. Thank you so mucho. And if you're new, welcome. Welcome to you. You're probably thinking, WTF, bro, you came back through, had all these like dope videos and graphics and images, and you dipped. I would like to think you know me by now, to know that I just wouldn't leave you hanging, but then I'm also like, no, my reputation thus far has been to keep things hanging. I'll say I was traveling. I mean, that's the truth. Not just like, oh, I'll say that. That was the truth. I was traveling. And before I get into that, let me tell you what I intend. Let me tell you what I intend to talk about today. I intend to discuss the full moon. I intend to discuss the lunar eclipse. I intend to discuss cycles and patterns, and particularly the menstrual one. I intend to discuss the divine feminine archetype. Probably I'll hit on self-importance, because that's something I'm dealing with right now, coming head to head with, bitter pilling it, if you will. I don't know. Whatever else happens is what's gonna happen. My biggest intent is to be open to the flow of the universe, you know? Today's message on my perpetual calendar, timies, we're gonna cut this. Today's message on my perpetual calendar from a basket of blessings. This is for artists and other lovers of the spirit. It's a perpetual calendar by Mary Lee Fulkerson. It's really powerful. If anyone, I'm sure you could find it online. Like, you probably find everything online. But this was a local artist in an area I once inhabited. And so, I mean, if you're interested, DM me or message me or whatever people do on here, or leave a thingy in the comments, and I will let you know where I got it from and connect you so that you can do the same if you want. Anyways, today's message was, may you remember that you are a conscious vessel for the life force that is always flowing through you, a container of emotions, giving and receiving, aware of your gianthood and splendor. Yeah. I'll also say that today is a rather auspicious day. Today, I was really, like, I'm hitting record before I'm ready, because I kept getting so many messages, so I was really trying to hit this window. And for whatever it's worth, I did hit record while we're still in the energy. So yeah, I think I was just talking about the things. Oh yeah, I was skeet. My biggest intention is to be that conscious vessel to allow whatever is trying to come through. Now, knowing me, a whole bunch of stuff's gonna come through, and yay technology, yay living in this timeline for whatever it's worth. I can edit this to make it work, so yeah. This first video, my intention is going to be to talk about my trip and some of the profound lessons I received and learned as a result to my trip. Like I said, I was like, man, she did not just come back through doing all this to then dip, and you know, we're not gonna hear from her for a couple of months. no, I didn't want that to happen at all. I really am undertaking something different. I've really come to terms with recognizing that discipline and focus are issues of mine. I don't think they're mine alone, just like I was saying with the mind stuff. And I'll get more into that in part 2 with the astrology and human design and you know, the cycles of the moon and things like that. So yeah, it was not my intention like to just pop back through and then dip. I really am intending to build this into something bigger, and I recognize I need to show up. Even today, even with trying to hit this window, like, let me tell you, I am hitting like these last few seconds. I freaking hit record because it's one of those, like, Reverend Deborah L. Johnson says, pain pushes until vision pulls. Right now, I'm still like in those spaces sometimes of where pain pushes. Vision pulls on things that I really, really like. Oh my gosh, this is my heart. I'm like, yes, like writing. Sharing my thoughts, which is really ironic because you would think that this is sharing my thoughts, and so this should be just as easy, and it should be. It gives me life. I get very excited. There's a lot of joy I get from being creative and doing things, and even if it's not like, I don't even like, it brings me so much joy. I'm at that space where I don't care what people think maybe about my editing skills or whatever. And yet I do still care about, I guess, taking the time, I guess about just putting in the effort, I guess about being consistent, what I was saying, discipline and focus as I get distracted. Discipline and focus are becoming glaringly obvious that those are my Achilles heel. That's some of the stuff that I learned about this trip. Like, so I went and experienced a week with my family in a way that I haven't before, not only because I'm different and I'm seeing things differently, but in a way where just all of us who are together don't get together that frequently, and we all have different roles now that we're playing in life that makes the dynamic that we knew that was already a little fragile, it made it a little curious, right? And I found for myself, I don't know, I'm clearing my throat like I have some throat chakra issues. I don't know what is happening. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. That doesn't really help. I like to do it with the song, but you know. So there were things that I experienced in these dynamics of the roles that I played before versus the role that I'm playing now. Even as just the growth that I've experienced. And you don't even know me like that. I mean, you could call me Sati, but you don't know me like that. But you could even go back through these videos and see an entirely different person. Yeah, I mean, like, for example, like, I weighed a bit more back then, which wasn't even something that was really on my brain until I was around family and they were commenting on it, and then these were things that were brought to my attention, and of course it felt great, it felt nice. But then of course I was out traveling, so I'm feeling a little swole, and not like swole like, oh no, my cells are a little swollen, like deep down, all of them. But that's all good. Like, I'm gonna get back on track. This is all part, and this video is all part of that. So that was one aspect, and you know, things with like inner silence, tackling that, recognizing where I was able to remain there, where I wasn't, and the things that was showing me was pretty powerful. I came back from that and then had a day or two at home, and then went back out to visit a friend who was celebrating a pretty monumental birthday, and she's experienced quite a few things in the past 365. So, you know, it was definitely like an experience of wanting to bring grounding in life and understanding and love through my presence, I suppose. And that was really powerful on the heels of the family experience. Like, it was almost like a do-over to practice the presence. Because, I mean, I live alone. I have my cat, who I didn't have with me for 2 weeks. So, by the way, if my best friend pops up and wants some attention and love, like, I'm gonna pause. Well, you won't know, because I will stop and... But he gets he gets the love first. And just being around people who knew me, or who know me, who knew me to the best of their ability. Here's the thing, I've always been talking about being authentic, and all the things I'm doing, or have done and am doing, are about being able to be fully myself in the now, and being okay with all of that. Alright, a bit of a lighting change, set the mood. No, the day is just moving on, and time is doing what time be doing. These people who knew me, right? Knew me, again, I say to the best of their ability, but with that said, to the best of my ability to reveal myself to them. So when I'm saying that I've spent all this work trying to figure out how to be authentic, only to come to the awareness now that how do you be authentic? Be authentic. You don't learn about it. You don't study about it. You don't go into all of these systems that put you into boxes about it. You be it. You experiment. You dance with it, right? So when I was with my loved ones and in a space where I wasn't before, whereas in the past, you know, full disclosure, I abused alcohol. I thought I hid it. I don't know. No one ever called me out on it. Two folks did. But no one ever really called me out on it, and I really pushed the envelope. And that's one of those things that, like, I'm reclaiming and coming to terms with, that was like where I was at, and that was fine. I'm still here. I'm still standing. However, there is like still a lot of shame and guilt around that. So I'm working through that recapitulation, and in its own right, it's happening. It's doing what it's doing. Anyways, I say all that to say that my reasons, my excuses, my story for that was in part of my effort to be who I am, to be okay with who I am, the good and the bad, with who I am in every given moment, in every situation. And those things, you know, create numbing effects. So it was easier. It served whatever purpose it was supposed to serve at that time. And I recognize that that is not the way to carry on. And so I continue to seek alternative methods, alternative understandings, for lack of a better word. And my search has continued me on into my thoughts, my beliefs, my ideas, my understandings. And where I stand right now is that a lot of my, you know, issues are actually rooted in self-importance. And so when I say presence, I do mean self-importance a bit interchangeably. They're not synonymous, but as I refer to them here, I do mean them interchangeably. Because I would understand that in full presence and awareness in the now, there is no me identity. There is the pure consciousness of the all that is, which I'm an expression of, for sure. However, in pure presence, I'm not contained to any form identity, to any illusory judgments or thoughts or beliefs. Those are all important and necessary to a degree in order to cohabitate and communicate and move about in community. However, I personally don't think that that's truth. And so when I contemplate and go deeper and deeper and deeper, there comes a point where there's just this oneness, this nothingness, this allness, this is, that is ising, this, I don't know. You can't even like identify it, but like in my human little cosmic goddess woman brain, there's some point where this is all, there's a point of cohesion. Yeah, I don't know. Like, even I suppose I could say, I mean, I can recognize that what if there's a point where it is completely random and chaos. I mean, and that's a very real possibility. That's part of this whole not believing your own bullshit. And that is what I think self-importance is all about. Like, everything that I have studied up until now, in order to understand my reality, I mean, the whole understanding thing is a very... What am I trying to understand? That's trying to say that I'm trying to make it fit within my paradigm. But if I recognize that everything is oneness and the all, then there is no paradigm to ascribe to or subscribe to. Right? I mean, I don't know. Like, these are things that I'm currently contemplating right now. So I thought this was going to be like a part 1, part 2, part 3. No. This is just going to be a bonus little vloggy, thingy, jam. And I'm going to like come back on Sunday. I'll talk about the full moon, the full flower moon, the full flower blood moon, the full flower blood super moon, and I'm going to talk about like the patterns, and this is just going to be a bonus.